It is Thursday. RawMikeRichards.com, broadcasting live from the DKI studios in downtown Toronto. 234 King Street East out of the Pacific Junction Hotel. Coming up today, it's the World Cup. The World Cup. It kicks off with the excitement of Russia and Saudi Arabia. Ooh, my family used to gather around the old TV to watch that matchup. There's a rivalry.
Classic, eh?
Oh, it is. Of course, our World Cup pool continues to get almost to the same size that our NHL playoff pool did. It's huge. You notice there's a lot of Russells in there. Russell, do you actually have one? Do you have? Are you in it?
He's doing it right now.
Oh, he's doing it right now. Yeah, so you still have to, 11 o'clock. So you have less than an hour if you want to get in on this, and you should. It looks like a lot of fun. The last one was, and there's a lot of smack talk already. Also coming up today, we're going to talk the start of the CFL season. Who the Bombers have at quarterback. We will attempt to pronounce his name.
That's what I'm actually listening to right now this week.
That's not a good sign for the fan base. How do you say his name again?
His name's Chris.
There is a issue, I guess, once again, with protecting the plate. Kemp comes in on the Texas Rangers, and Chirinos, the catcher, gets blown up. But the way that they're talking about that rule in protection of the plate and the safety of the runner and the safety of the catcher, I'm not quite understanding it, which maybe isn't surprising. Also, I had the greatest clip and the weirdest clip of all time. The Weird Alan Thicke show, which, trust me, was a bizarre show. The Alan Thicke show, and Alan Hamill was the other one. Alan Hamill, you know, the creepy guy that's married to Suzanne Summers.
Yep.
Like that. I look at those two. There's no. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I mean, look, Rick Ocasek from the Cars, and Paulina Porzakova, the Sports Center Supermodel. People are like, well, how could that happen? Yeah, but he's a rock star. Like, it doesn't matter. You're a rock star. You can look like Lyle Lovett. You're getting something good. It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. But Alan Hamill wasn't exactly a huge. Maybe he thought he was. You're doing a talk show on CTV out of in front of canned laughter in Vancouver in the middays in Canada, like in the 1970s.
Yep.
You're not huge, and you're certainly that does not vault you into the young Suzanne Summers universe in terms of hooking up.
Suzanne Summers was a prize too.
Well, she was like one of the hottest. She was like a Farrah Fawcett sort of quality at that point.
Exactly.
Okay, so I know there's no sound. So Devin, I know there's no sound on this, but I just gotta show you how crazy and creepy this looks. So this is from that Weird Alan Thicke show. Sorry that there's no sound, but just roll this for a second. So he's on the couch. Look at him leaning in. There's Seiko, literally the world's biggest porn star at the time, and looks good here. I saw her in Super 8. I thought her acting, well, even though she couldn't talk, it was very exotic looking. And look at Thicke, and he keeps moving in there, and he's using wrong words. And it's kind of like if Russell had a talk show, I think it would be a lot like this.
Interesting.
Yeah. See how close is he? Now you can't hear what she's talking about. She's talking about the business, and he's doing his little jokes there, and he's moving in, and she's going, "Oh, that's so funny. I'm not blowing guys." And then
this is pretty good translation. I like this.
He says, I've got a cottage up north, and I could jump off my dock. I said dock. So anyway, anyway, that was that. That was that. But
that was great.
I am excited that we have finally got underway our World Cup soccer pool.
Yes.
It is. Kind of soccer music a little bit.
Yeah, that's fine. I think there we go. Now it picks up. Yeah,
that's for your Brazilian people.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is where you say I'm picking Brazil to win the whole thing.
Who are you picking to win the whole thing?
You know what? I had Germany originally, and now I'm starting to find a different perspective because you look for value as well, right? So value-wise, because they're not in the top four, France, Belgium. but these are self-imploded teams as well, right?
Yeah,
So-
France can do that.
Oh,
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not sold on France. I still like Germany. I haven't changed my mind. Spain, it doesn't matter about their coach. This is a team you just put.
That's
put
not,
the quarter in there and they're
yeah,
still running anyway.
I was going to say that's not as big of a deal as some people are making it out to be. When you think of it, it's like, oh, new coach, 24 hours. It's like, no, it's still the same Spanish team. And I think the reason they got rid of him is there was already a split locker room where the guys accepted the job at Real Madrid.
Yeah, which
and
is
that
huge.
Pissed off a lot of people.
So it divided the room.
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
almost makes sense. You know what? Let's just cut this guy out, because if he's around and he sticks around for the remainder of the tournament, this team won't do as well as we think it's going to do. This might actually be a benefit.
Okay,
for Spain.
Put it this way, and people wonder, well, how could that be? If he's so huge, he's the manager. He's the if it were the Olympics, I guess not the World Hockey Championships, because in hockey, no one cares. If it's the Olympics and Mike Babcock is your head coach with that loaded, stacked Canadian team.
Yep.
And 2 days beforehand, they say, Mike, we just can't have you there. We're going to put in Barry Trotz. Do you really care at that point in that tournament who's coaching Team Canada?
No. R. Graham could coach that team.
That's what I'm saying. I think at that point, as long as it wasn't like one of those years where it's turned over and there's a lot of young guys and there's a lot of guys who haven't really been on the stage like that. But the problem is, when you start talking about a world stage, all those guys, including in this sport, they've all played World Juniors. They've all played under 21. So even if it was Team Canada in the Olympics and you had some younger guys, to say that they haven't played on that kind of stage before, well, probably most of them are pros. They've all played in the World Juniors, and they all play in the NHL. Really, what is the big scary issue? I just don't think there is one.
Yeah, and when you're at that level, too, and you make a good comparison between Babcock and Trotz, it would never be a scenario where Mike Babcock gets ditched from Team Canada and the head coach of the Oakville Raiders AAA 15 and 16-year-old Bantam team takes over. It would never be that scenario.
It's not that. So it really, as you said before, I don't think it's much of a thing now. I didn't realize today, this is kind of weird, but I think I see the limousine.
It's a little early, too.
So,
I know we haven't seen him in a while. Well, you know what?
so,
Let's bring him in here because we know there's a couple of significant tournaments and leagues starting today. Always happy to be joined eventually by this man.
I think that somehow, strangely enough, Mancini, that was not. Victor would be very upset.
Well, he's actually by the door right now, shaking his head because
he
refuses
just,
to come in unless there's music being played.
Well,
so
that was a theme from a summer place, which normally. Oh my God! This is one of those days that I just kind of.
It's a good thing that we're not on Friday.
Friday,
Yeah.
which we're out.
Yeah, no show tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's why we have this next gentleman coming in.
Here we go.
And of course, as soon as you hear that first note of the piano, you know exactly who I'm talking about. We welcome back to Raw Mike Richards, Mr. Victor Newman. Victor, good morning.
Well, it was a good morning until I came in here and saw that Russell was being shit again with the production.
It's not Russell this time, though.
Who is it?
It's a guy named Devin. I don't know his last
I
name.
don't know who the hell that is, but I'll tell you right now. I don't like him.
Well,
He looks like a damn buffoon.
You didn't even meet him yet.
One of those guys who has a squirting flower on his chest.
Oh, yes.
I don't appreciate those damn pranks, all right?
I could see that.
But you look very good, David.
Thank you.
You look like me when I was younger. I wonder how that could be.
I don't know.
How was your mother doing?
No, she's doing great.
Let's get to the World Cup of Soccer. You know, I played soccer when I was younger.
Apparently so. You were the model for Adidas shorts at the time.
That's correct. You could see my bulging thighs. Other bulges too. Russell, keep your friend in check. Let's look at the first game. It starts today. Russia versus Saudi Arabia. Russia has put themselves in the weakest group. They think it's going to be easy. I got news for them today. I don't think anyone's going to damn score. Neither of them can, so I take a draw at a 4.58. That, of course, is Sports Interaction. A draw is damn good money today, David.
Sure is. Good call.
Then I take a look at the next games, Morocco and Iran. There was a group called the Flock of Seagulls. They had a song called Iran.
Yeah, you're right.
I played keyboards
I didn't know that.
with shorts.
Adidas.
Take Morocco at a 210. That's right, at 210. That's easy money. They're going to win. Spain and Portugal. I don't give a damn who's coaching that Spanish team. They're brilliant, all right? They're amazing. Portugal versus Spain. I'm taking Spain at a 2.01. Trust me, they're going to damn win. How do I know? Because I'm Victor Newman. You got that? Devin? A damn freak. Probably be in that parade this weekend. Now moving along. Let's keep it going, fellas. Come on, keep it on the rails. France and Australia. And Australia's down under. That's where they should stay because they're terrible. What are they called? The Socceroos?
They are.
They are shit. Take France at a Asian handicap -1.5.
Interesting strategy.
1.80. That's all it pays. That tells you what the odds makers think. I also Peru and Denmark. These teams are pretty equal, and neither are going to score. I don't think in that game either. If they do, it's 1-1. It will be low scoring. Take the draw. That's a 3.14. And finally, Argentina versus Iceland. I don't give a damn about Vikings. I'm not scared of them. I'm not scared of anybody.
Have you ever been in a fight with the Viking?
Yes, I have.
Oh, did you win?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
2-1. Take Argentina. The Asian handicap -1.5. And people don't be making fun of the word Asian handicap. That's wrong. And that is it for me. Now you shut the hell up.
Great seeing Victor Newman. He'll be
Oh,
back
wow.
next week, too, with more World Cup picks. World Cup, of course, going on for the next month. So, you know, it's one of those things where Mike and I, sometimes Victor, will be talking World Cup on a daily basis.
I wasn't really expecting him to come in today. And
Well, we haven't
apparently
seen him in a while, right?
Either was Henry Mancini.
No, he wasn't.
Because he had the wrong song. So, yeah, it starts very shortly. And again, you've got literally now about 40 minutes to get in there, Russell. You finally got yours in there. And what is the name of your team?
Argram 93, same as last.
Oh, I love it.
That is.
Oh, you
What's
mean
up
that was still available?
What is wrong with you?
What?
Why would he do that?
I don't know. I'm just surprised it was available.
Other people are using your name in more creative ways than you, and it's not their name. I do look. There's a lot of great names in here this time, and as always, Ape Tit 200 is back.
Yeah, he's back. I saw that. 8 to 2. Is it 200 or 2,000?
This one just it was. I thought the last one was 2,000.
I thought it was 2.
I think this one actually says 200.
Okay.
I'll have to check on that one. Let's just see if I can get in when a lot of people subscribed, obviously, so they can become a part of this pool.
Bingo.
Here we go. This will take forever. This is brutal. Okay. Anyway, I was hoping I'd get some of the names, but there's Russell the Jobbers.
Russell the Jobber. Yeah.
Russell the Jobbers in there.
Yeah.
They're talking about the U.S. Olympic pools, or U.S. Open pool, rather. It is just underway now.
Right.
But do you really... I heard some people talking about the scores. Thursday morning, they were talking about who had a lead.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, don't bet. Okay,
Yeah.
don't
Pack your lunch if you're
don't.
gonna.
That's a long one.
Yeah. It could be. Yeah. You know, when 3/4 of the field haven't teed off yet, and you're talking about scores, whatever. It is what it is.
It's funny how it's funny how people say, you know, depending. So this came out of the States. They said, well, all eyes this afternoon will be on Tiger Woods. Okay, for 2 days. Like seriously, why? When you heard the U.S. Open was coming out, we talked about. Obviously, we had some people on talking about it. What's the story for you? Because I don't think I've talked about Tiger once. Not
No.
once.
No, it's I don't. You know what? I don't really have a beat on what the story would be, to tell you the truth, because it's kind of wide open. We don't have that dominating player. You know, people will sit there and say DJ's the defending champ. This isn't even the course that he won at last year, so it's not like you could sit there and say he's so good on this U.S. Open course. You know what? It's the thing is, it is a major tournament. So there's more eyes on it than what regularly happens. For my money, I'm kind of interested to see what the Canadians do. We talked about Garrett Rank, the NHL official. He's in this tournament. He's actually paired up
That's
with
right, too. That's a great story.
Yeah, I think from our personal side of it, he's teed up with Mackenzie Hughes, another Canadian, who is, by the way, sponsored by The Score.
Really?
He actually wears Score shirts.
That's
which is
pretty
kinda
cool.
Yeah,
That's
very
very
cool. And last year he was at the Score golf tournament because I was also taking part of that. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, that's an interest of me. But at the national PGA Tour level, I don't know if any of that really, touches a pulse with anybody else outside of, the Canadian eyes watching it. And even then, probably a lot of people don't even know that Garrett Rank's an actual NHL official, and the season just ended last week. So
And a good one, too. It's not like he's a spare. I mean, he did Stanley Cup playoff games. There's a lot that he has done in his career, but he's always gone into tournaments,
Yep.
and he qualified, so that's pretty cool. But we looked at the front nine, at least briefly, a couple of the holes. We'll go now to let's take a look at the back nine.
back
right?
nine, okay.
The back nine of Shinnecock. Once again, that's pronounced Shinnecock.
Shinnecock.
A lot of people making a big deal, of course, of their logo as well. Just take it easy.
It's like the Blackhawks logo. Is that
Yeah,
what
it
you're saying?
does. Yeah.
They're like, hey, this is Chicago Blackhawks with different colors.
Yeah. This is another long hole. This is all the crap and fescue leading all the way up to it. Look how, this is a plane or a drone or whatever that's doing this. It's probably going to run out of gas or whatever before it gets to the hole. This is how you start that back nine. But once again, it's I guess when you look at this course, would you call it a? I'm drawing a blank on the style of course they have over in Europe.
Links course.
Yeah, it's more. Would you not qualify this?
Seems like it.
That looks like a links course to me.
No. See, that's a very short par 3, 159 par 3, hole number 11. The thing is, you have to clear all of this. This looks like Russell's backyard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he doesn't really take good care of it. But anyway, so key placement for this on the green itself. A lot of sand in the way.
Oh, look at the traps.
159 basically means that you have to be throwing darts.
Yeah, it's
with
lawn
a
darts.
golf ball.
It's lawn darts.
That's how tough that is.
And it all feeds in, feeds down. So depending on the pin placement, that's another one. What's this? 469. And again, these guys are so good. It's not like they haven't played it before, but if you get into that stuff, look, that I said the second cut is decent, but you're going to play very risky if you don't keep that thing in the middle of the course. A lot of that risk reward stuff you see with the ways you can get there. But Dave, it should be. It looks like the weather's going to be good. I hate it when the weather's junk.
Mm-hmm.
That I want to see the best guys play. Do you have a feeling on any of the guys that are getting off this? Ricky Fowler, I know is.
Yeah,
I think it's more they just think at some point. Well, he's got to win at some point, doesn't he?
but
That's not a way to win.
I just don't know if this is the course that he wins at. To tell you the honest truth, just because it is pin placement, it is basically video game accuracy. These aren't like that's why I look at you mentioned Tiger Woods. He will play 2 rounds and he'll be out. Because Tiger Woods cannot place balls where he wants to. And even in his heyday, he didn't have a problem. Like, Tiger Woods in his heyday would fire it, 30 yards out of bounds, but recover with a massive second shot. They won't allow this on this course.
The other thing you'll notice, which is not uncommon, is not necessarily even the first and second cuts, but some of those fairways are pretty thin.
Very.
So again, if you don't have accuracy, you're gonna have yourself a long day. But once again, Shinnecock.
This is a par 4 519, by the way. Par 4 519.
Russell said these are the ones he likes to use his driver on the whole hole. Told me that. I've never seen that before. But look,
it's a different strategy, but it's probably the smart strategy.
Look how thin it gets between the fescue and that fairway trap.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like a couple of club lengths going up to it. Do you like the? That's good. That's good. Do you like the links style course?
Not really.
Yeah, they're not my. Some people love them.
I kind of rely on, if I'm hole number 3, I kind of rely on the fact that I could still put it on the fairway of 4 to recover on 3. You don't get that here.
No.
You don't remotely get it here. And it'll be interesting to see how many people actually try to hit from the rough, because those are what's known as wrist breakers. Because you'll go in there, you'll think, I could get this out, and it's like if you don't hit that properly, it's like both sides. We've seen it before, so I'll be curious to see it. It's interesting that it falls in line with the opening night of CFL, which I'll obviously be watching, opening day of World Cup, which I'll obviously be watching, and now this. So it's almost like there's so many other distractions. I may not watch the U.S. Open as much as I traditionally would watch it.
Yeah. And by the way, when you were doing that voice, you said, I bet you I can make this shot. That is an impression of Phil Mickelson, every shot, every tournament, in every place he's ever played.
I think so,
I mean, it's amazing where, you hear the guys go, well, it's about 170. Looks like he's in a bit of jail there. I mean, I don't think he's got a chance to, if he gets a lot of loft, he's got the shrubs in front of him. There's always taking out a wedge. No, I'm sorry. It's a 3-wood. Like it's what was it? David Faraday said watching Phil Mickelson play golf is watching like a drunk chase a balloon on the edge of a cliff. That's what it feels like, because you just never quite know if he's going to. Yeah,
is he going to take the spill? Is he going to make the catch? Is he going to fall?
I still like Phil regardless of the fig jam thing. I don't care.
I like Phil. Yeah, I've always been a big Phil guy, and it's not like my all-time favorite or anything like that, but he's an interesting guy, and he looks like he always has fun out there too.
He was good on Entourage. Remember that? He showed up on Entourage, right? Because if you're really that pissy, if you're that shitty a guy, and you're always worried about what people think of you, he never would have gone on a show like that. He would have never gone on a show like that.
Like Tiger Woods wouldn't be on Entourage.
No, never. And was he ever on anything?
No. Not that kind of dude, though.
No, he's not.
Which is kind of too bad, because there was a lot there that he could have probably capitalized on outside of him being a famous multi-ethnic athlete, which is fantastic in today's world as far as, advertising, world stage everywhere. And, and then he kind of went, well, we know what happened, right?
Well, we talked to, Nota B. Gay, his roommate at Stanford, and he talked about those kinds of things. And like he's a much more affable guy than Tiger was. Tiger, look, just because they're great athletes doesn't mean they're great people. No. And he's just not. He's not one of those guys.
Exactly.
We mentioned the World Cup obviously is coming up. So I'm going to show you 4 different things things you will not see in this World Cup. Now, the first one's from Scotland. It is under 14. And I'm pretty sure, Dave, the opening moment of this particular soccer match, I'm pretty sure you will not see this in number 1 of things you will not see at the World Cup.
They're not going to shoot directly from the kickoff, are they?
Watch this.
He absolutely is going to shoot directly from kickoff, and it's going to go in. Oh, that's unbelievable! That is incredible. It is the most majestic thing you may ever see. I've said to you that someone may try it this weekend, and direct from kickoff, the keeper's been caught.
Kickoff.
Open over.
Yes, it's in Scotland. Don't worry, he's not swearing.
I want to see, but it's what's happened, and inside 10 seconds, the goalkeeper.
He said, "Is he going to try it? Is he going to do it from kickoff and watch this?"
Blows, and he just says, "I'll take it from here, and I'll put it in the back of the net." What an incredible start by the Spartans. Number 11, a wonderful goal by Louis McLaughlin.
I'm pretty sure you will not see that.
No.
If I'm Saudi Arabia, I'm trying it. Look, I don't know how many chances. I don't know how many chances. Look, this thing's going to be for the opening game. The host country always plays, right? But they put them in that situation where maybe they think this is the one they're going to win. Look, who's favored? Obviously, in this game, Russia is favored.
Yes, they are.
But if they park the bus, like I think probably Saudi Arabia will, I don't know how many chances they get because they won't have huge finish because they don't score a whole bunch. But they played strong enough soccer again in some of their international friendlies. It leads me to believe like they're going for the draw.
Yeah.
And at this level, it's really if someone has decided that they are not going to let you in the box. It will take a lot for Russia to get in there. I don't know if they crack it, and that's why I don't think they win. I don't think they do win.
One thing you can look for today, almost a guarantee, because it is the host country always playing in that first game, there will be a call that goes towards Russia where you're sitting there looking at the TV going, I don't get this. And I'm just saying, watch for somebody falling in the box and Russia capitalizing on that offense.
Well, they're going to try that. It'll be pathetic. I really hope it doesn't happen, but you're right. If there's a chance it will, it might happen today. We mentioned also the kickoff of the CFL, and I came across this. I'd not really seen this before. The new mosaic, the stadium is just spectacular. It is beautiful. It's something I didn't even think would ever exist in the CFL. Not as a kid, I wouldn't. Now it's different. You see a lot of different stadiums, but in its day, I never would have thought something would look like that. Coming from Taylor Field, now you being a Bomber fan,
Yep.
you probably were never that warm towards that facility.
No, and I've been there many times too. In particular, 3 Labor Day weekends, and Labor Day to the Bombers has traditionally not been very good.
No, it's not kind.
It's a fun trip though, bus trip.
Yeah, and hey, I remember some rumbles.
Yeah.
Literally on the sidelines, it got ugly at times. Thus, then the crack about the Banjo Bowl.
Yeah, Troy Westwood. That's right.
So, I don't know if Dave Bastel will be sad, but I've never, and we've shown a lot of stadiums being torn down. I never saw them. I never saw the mosaic. But trust me, it's Taylor Field. We all know it's called Taylor Field.
It is.
And this is what it looked like. This is the West Side Grandstand coming down. Kind of weird to watch. There was a lot of Pilsner that was drank in that section.
Yeah.
Guys just sort of watching, cheering. That's a guy thing.
Yeah. Outside of a couple of Grey Cup championships, that basically describes everything you need to know about the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Here's that looks like they've started it. Look at that. Russell's just, man, he's getting all excited because he's watching this.
I like blowing stuff up.
Look at this.
The old Pac-Man Stadium, eh?
Yeah.
Mouth open.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that. Isn't it true, though? I mean, I think if someone said, okay, so there's no work for you in your field, there's nothing you can do, but I can give you a job working in demolition.
Yeah, I'm in.
The guy, the world's going, you kidding me? Get the bullshit up? That's the job? Yeah, start right now.
I'll take it.
Do I need any training? Nope. Yeah, all demolition. No, there's a real science to it. Sure there is. Sure there is. Just as the people, the Pontiac, the Silverdome.
Yeah.
Well, I think it took them.
It took them a while. Yeah.
It took them a couple of times to get that done, but I'd never really seen that before. Speaking of things crashing in to each other, now I thought I understood the rule in Major League Baseball about blocking home plate. Like a lot of what was the one that changed everything? Was the
Buster Posey.
Yeah, so the broken leg and the whole thing. So they said, okay, we got to clean this up. So here's the Rangers and the Dodgers from last night, property of Major League Baseball and MLB Advanced Media, I guess, for Kemp and Chirinos, who's going to catch the ball. I don't know if he had a lot of choice here because it pushes him towards the third base line. Let's see it play out. What do you think?
Use maybe the greatest variety of players. Line drive to right field. Coming up with the quickly Mazzara. Kemp's being waved to throw the play. Oh. He is out at the plate.
All right.
Big collision between Chirinos and Kemp. And some pushing and shoving, and here we go.
I'll tell you what, Robinson Chirinos upset about what happened, and understandably so, as Matt Kemp barreled him over. Now, remember, the rules are still the same, where you can run into the catcher if the catcher is blocking the plate. And that is certainly the approach that Matt Kemp took, who believes that is exactly what happened. Robinson Chirinos did not take too kindly to that slide. The throw brought Robinson Chirinos into the line, and that's why Matt Kemp felt that he could push and knock Robinson Chirinos over. And you see this guy scrapping a little bit. The throw was allowed to bring you there, and that is exactly what happened. Matt Kemp almost looked like he started to give up and then decided that he was going to barrel Robinson Chirinos, but it does appear that he has been.
Okay, so here's what I don't understand about that. Because we know what the rule is. So you can't just go in and take your shot at a catcher who's just a sitting duck for usually it could be a sizable guy coming around third base and just, giving you his best shot.
Right.
But they're saying if the catcher does block it, so he doesn't give him that lane, that that then you can go ahead and do it. It almost eradicates the rule to a degree. That part I don't understand, because at first I thought Kemp was the one that was wrong, and then I thought, well, hold on, you're supposed to give the lane now. I thought that was the idea, where you're automatically called out within. So that confused me a little bit. Even the interpretation of that rule kind of says to me, you can't fight unless a guy wants to fight you.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
See, I wasn't aware of that either. That the lane had to have been given, kind of thing. Because I'm thinking as a major league catcher at any level, actually, if you're anticipating the ball being thrown on time, you're not standing outside of the baselines. You're standing where you want to be able to make the quick tag position, right? You don't want to catch the ball and then scurry backwards or scurry forwards to make the tag. So I guess, is that legal? That's what I'm
saying. Now, to me, it brings in gray area once again. I mean, there are certain sports I think that and we may not like it, but really do bring the hammer down in terms of its technicality of a rule, and that's the NFL. So sometimes when we don't think there should be a flag, a lot of times involving the quarterback, but if I just go by Tom Brady and I clip that helmet, that flag's getting thrown. It doesn't matter. It is the hard, not unwritten, written rule about how certain things are in football, and to me, there's less of it. The only area in football that I don't understand is that whole thing around the goal line and the flag. Mm-hmm. To me, that I if that gets cleaned up, and I guess we'll have to find out, because what is a touchdown? That whole thing with possession. All of a sudden, I don't think I understood necessarily what I believe they think is a catch. That, to me, slows down the game. And I'll go as far to say, because we're talking about CFL coming on tonight, it's going to be the Bombers and the Eskimos.
Yeah.
The fact that the coaches and the bench can call pass interference,
hate that rule.
I'll just never understand that, Dave.
That.
I just think it makes your officials look bad. Improve your officiating. But the fact that you can make a call that was because you saw something way on the other side of the field, it just looks stupid.
It looks bush, and for even the casual fan that doesn't know much of it, it's like, what? So they just can sit back and anticipate something happening, and it's like, oh, let's look at that again, kind of thing. I don't like that. Big story with the Bombers, of course. Matt
Devin,
Nichols
you can show Dave if you want. Devin just
I'm over here
doing the show.
Yep.
There you go. That's
hey, I didn't know that.
I think he's hammered, which I like. I like the fact that he came
start
in
at 10:40 in the morning. Right?
So join the club.
So Chris Shravler is his name. He starts for the first time since Anthony Calvillo did it with the Las Vegas Posse as a guy that ended the season in the NCAA with South Dakota State and will play in the first Bomber game of the season, or first professional game. So we're looking at a guy that was just signed by the Bombers in early May, because they looked at him in the offseason, wasn't sure, finally brought him into camp, won the job because of the injury, of course, beat out Alex Ross as well. Eskimo 7.5-point favorites on Sports Interaction. I'm not sure where to go with that number, to tell the honest truth, because here's a couple things. The Eskimos aren't as good offensively as they were last year. Mike Riley is the most outstanding player, we know that, but he's missing a Darius Bowman, who's now a Bomber. Another key receiver is with the Minnesota Vikings, and the Bombers' defense, Mike, has drastically improved from last season. So I'm kind of curious to see, how much Mike Riley can do against this Bomber defense, how much the Bomber defense can stop them, and what the Bomber offense can do against an Eskimo defense, which is okay. It's above average. 49.5 points seems like a high total for these two teams.
I think it would have to be a real fail for the Bombers for it to get that way, because then you're looking at a lopsided game.
Yes.
That's the only way I could see that happening. The one thing about Strevler out of South Dakota, the one thing is, we sit there and you mock his name and you say all this stuff, and then he comes out and he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, the level of football they play at that level, when you start talking about South Dakota State, the Montana State, some of those teams that play in that area, they're I don't know. I mean, if you take a look at some of the football players who have come out of there, that there is. I mean, you don't know, and I'll be honest, that's an advantage to a degree in the beginning. Do you think the Eskimos have any idea what tendency this guy's got?
Nothing.
Like, do you know how athletic he is? Like, is he going to tuck the ball and run? Does he have good vision where I don't know. To me, it's a real coin toss, which is why you usually in the beginning depending on how your defense, and you know that Edmonton has a great defense. They're bringing that forward. So if you're looking at 50 points and I'm going to take the under or a total, I'm probably taking the under.
Yeah. The only thing that the Eskimos do have is Shrevler played against them in week 1, playing against their second-tier defense for a quarter and a half.
Yeah, and you wouldn't get, and you're still not going to get much of that. The only thing is it looks like he might have that mustache thing going, and I don't like it. I don't. Like there's some quarterbacks in that league. Was it Humphrey? Who's the one in the league? In CFL came in, and it just some quarterbacks just shouldn't have
mustaches.
None of my quarterbacks. Like, is there a? And I don't mean the whole thing with the beard and stuff. Like, name me a quarterback. Like Kenny Anderson in the day had a real thin mustache that looked weird.
Yeah.
Who's a quarterback that has a mustache that's good?
That's a great question.
See?
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
There isn't one. No. That's Joe Montana. He used to grow a mustache in the offseason. Sure didn't do it during the regular season. No, you're right.
Like if Devin came walking in and said, "Hey, what do you think of the stash?" It's got to go. I mean, I don't mind you drinking, but you're not going to be one of those tall guys with a mustache.
That's true.
Like just wear a bowler hat and a monocle. Like I don't like the look.
Going to be the tall Monopoly guy?
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
So I don't want to see that.
Other games, by the way, Mike, this weekend, the Argos open up in Saskatchewan. The Argos are actually 2-point favorites in this one, which is kind of surprising considering what this Saskatchewan Roughrider team did defensively speaking in the offseason. Might be something you look at there, plus the points. Hamilton in Calgary. Calgary opened up at 9.5-point favorites. They're now 7.5-point favorites.
Wow,
so
really?
People are buying in on the Hamilton Ticats, keeping it close.
Because that's Mazzoli. And
exactly.
For Calgary, boy, I got to tell you, that's they've just got so many people folding their arms on them. I don't know, and that's tough again. Ticats have Calgary, Edmonton, and then the Bombers.
Bingo, 1, 2, 3 in a row. And of course, the most hated rivalry in Ola football. The Alouettes travel to BC to face the Lions.
Oh, yeah.
The Lions 7.5-point favorites.
What a natural rivalry that is. Seriously? Oh, whatever. Speaking of, we talked about the World Cup. We've also talked about things you will not see in the World Cup. And so this one, let me see if I can figure out which this one is. What are we looking at? Oh, this computer. This is really sucking. Anyway, here is, once again, is it the girls? Okay. You got to listen very closely. Things you will not see in the World Cup this week. Like this.
Give and go, give and go. Pass it back to McKay. Come on already.
Okay, that was so good. Devin, I just want to see that again. So they're running for the ball before it goes out of bounds. And the one girl has just had enough, and she's going to turn around. It's like a punch smack.
Go. Pass it back to McKay. Come on already!
Oh! Hey now, not right. You won't see that. No, you're going to see a lot of people. Trust me, if someone gave an open slap or a punch like that, do you notice the girl didn't go down?
Nope.
You notice there was no rolling on the ground and holding your knees.
That was a Spanish midfielder. He would have been continuing to roll right now. I know.
I know. They'd have 5 trainers and a surgeon in the pit.
Stretcher on the field.
Oh, yeah. That's the one thing that I think that people, when you talk about World Cup and those that still are, don't like soccer a lot, it's the first thing they go to. And you know what? I don't blame them. The whole, as they call it, simulation is what it really kills the sport. You don't see as much of it, but you have to understand culturally, you're taught to do that. Just like guys when you're playing basketball, if they think they have position, they go for that offensive foul. That's why they always go down flat with their back. Just if you think you can get the foul, you're going to do it. But it was just rampant in some countries where that's all that they do. Not as bad. It's funny, people talking about Mexico. I still think Mexico, when I'm looking at the World Cup, they just I'd love to see them win it, but I just don't see, again, coming down to size, guys who 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", and 115 pounds, or what it is. I just don't see them getting there. It'd be a nice story because they're sort of adopted.
Yeah.
By like, do you think if it's hard to say who do you cheer for, because if you have a certain family background and ethnic background, that's who you're cheering
That's
for.
who you're cheering for, yeah.
But what if they're not there?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's for my wife's side of the family, it's definitely this World Cup isn't as interesting as past ones have been, right? So because in the past they'd always sit around the TV waiting for that 0-0 draw.
Oh yeah, we wait for the Greeks to score as they continue to grow beards.
and they're not going to be able to do that this year. You know what I mean? So they'll still be watching because this is the best of the best. This is this tournament. When you talk about best on best, is the best sporting tournament in the world.
It will have numbers that you can't relate to literally in any other sport. And when we talk about the Super Bowl, this is like 1,000 Super Bowls. It will be in the billions.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of 1,000 Super Bowls, I was mentioning this to Russ this morning, and he got rather excited that he started climbing the walls. Our friend Arthur Staple,
yes,
the Islanders beat reporter, threw out a report just the other day saying, according to him, according to Arthur Staple, he has reported that John Tavares has preferred places that he wants to go. His choices are Los Angeles or the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, Russell, no.
So
Russell,
I'm just saying,
don't do that in front of people. But here's the thing in talking about that. So Lou goes there, and that obviously first thing on his plate, obviously JT.
yeah.
But at best, didn't you put it no more than 50-50? Because I just can't see that alone, promise of other things is what he wants. Because he's still a relatively young. He's got a lot of hockey to play. So why would the Islanders be that place that you want to go? Because it really, in terms of their transportation, Dave, where they live, how they travel, just the team itself, even with Lou, I don't know how that is supposed to be more than a 50-50. And it sounds like he gave it his best shot, and whatever they were prepared to cough up, Lord knows what that was, and it didn't work. But I'm not surprised.
No, and as of right now, I don't think he'll sign there if there's no coach. And there's no coach in place right now. He had a good relationship with Doug Waite. I'm not holding my breath saying that he's going to come to the Leafs because I got my hopes too high when I thought Stamkos was going to come here. So,
but this is better, don't you think?
This is much better.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Why is Dave Tippett not employed?
That's a great.
Like what?
Sorry, someone's playing music in here. That's a great question because he almost seems like the type of guy that should have already had a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, there's politics when it comes to who's going to go where. Maybe there's a relationship with an assistant general manager and 20 years ago or whatever. I can tell you, I think that's why Dave Tippett did not go to the Calgary Flames, because if I'm the Flames, he would be the top of my list. But there is
should be anyway, right?
There's an issue there, and so it did not happen. Because if you think Bill Peters is, if you're choosing between Bill Peters and Dave Tippett, am I really even pondering this?
Shouldn't be. Bill Peters is looked upon as even though he is an older coach for first-year coach when he was with Carolina, he does come from that Mike Babcock school, right? So he was an assistant under Babcock in Detroit. A lot of people will sit there and say, oh, we like the assistants off of this guy. Just like when you see in the NFL, a lot of times when there's openings, Bill Belichick's staff gets picked over. We even saw it this offseason with two of them signing contracts with new teams, and Josh McDaniels had an option of signing with another team and said no.
Yeah.
So that would have been 3 off of his coaching staff. Don't be surprised if this sort of thing happens with the Maple Leafs when Babcock isn't here in a couple of years, because I don't think he will be. I think he will opt out before the 8 years are up, and I believe it's year number 5 that there could be an opt-out clause, and that's where you're going to see Sheldon Keefe as the brand new head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Do you think he goes, okay, if he wins, I would assume that's also good out too. But what if he doesn't win a cup? Do you still think he'd go at the end of 5?
He might be convinced to go, I think.
Oh, you're saying it's not his choice.
Or talked to, or I don't know. Go ahead.
Well, no, I
remember who the general manager is.
I just think the thing with Sheldon Keefe, I don't think he'll ever be the coach of the Leafs, and that's nothing on him. I think it's because there's a chance after this season, which ends tonight for the Marlies, Game 7, I think there's a chance he could get called up to an NHL club after this season.
That's a fair point, because I mean I think that there are a lot that would we talk about where coaches come from in the AHL, and it has
Great
been
development
it's
league,
been
right?
maybe to me it's the second best league in the world.
Yeah,
sorry, but it is. And so how does it get that way? There's some great minds down in the AHL. We've seen it over the last, I'd say, 10 years, where some of the great coaches have come from the AHL. So that's a fair point.
Yeah, players develop, coaches develop. Everybody gets their best foot in the door if you develop through the American Hockey League. So very true.
You're watching Raw Mike Richards either on the website or, of course, on the dedicated YouTube channel. I see you continue to subscribe. The little thing down, I think it would be right there, right in the thing, right there. And we've been talking about World Cup, obviously, which starts in 8 minutes. So hopefully you've got, if you subscribe to rawmikerichards.com, you got into the pool.
Question about that.
Yes.
Do we do picks every round? Because the picks were only for the group stage. So
Correct.
when it gets to the knockout stage, we do our next round.
Yeah, you'll
picks?
probably get email notification to get your picks in for round number 2 once round 1 is complete. Round 1 takes 2.5 weeks, so you're still okay. Every 5 days your group will play.
Did you pick all 48 games then? You did the...
I did, yeah.
Do you know what you're doing? Like you even...
Not much, no.
R. Graham
I know
is the
a
one to
decent
copy
amount.
off of, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry, what is the elaborate name that you came up with your team? What's it called again?
R. Graham 93.
R. Graham 93.
Okay.
93 for...
Dougie.
There you go.
Could be R. Graham 91 if JT signs, right?
Yeah, that would cause some controversy. Let's do a little more things that you won't see in the World Cup this week. Oh, and then not only kicks him in
you
the
might
gut,
see it.
Not only, but here's what. So not only kick him in the gut because he hates him, boof. Then he goes and eat the ball. Ooh, I'm telling you, if that happens in the World Cup, that person immediately becomes my favorite player.
Yeah, and he did it with the same foot too. He delivered the kick with the left foot and then left kicks the ball into the guy. That's double the points. If you're scoring that at home, there's got to be a multitude of 10s on the board.
See, there's got to be a Serb that wants to do that. if I'm picking a country that would do that, because if it wasn't Serb, I'd say an Irish guy.
Yeah,
an Irish guy would be more incapable of doing that. Because for years when Ireland, they go to the World Cup and they always have problems again. Scoring goals was always their thing. They just get very upset, and eventually I think they're just very angry. Just want to start punching people, which is why I have the temperament I do. Okay, so this is going to be a short show today because I'm telling you, it's sunny outside. We're ready to go.
Well, I got a special message for you before we got going.
Oh, a special message.
So I got this voicemail on my phone that I want to play with you.
Okay.
Play it to you right now, and I want you to listen up because we don't have the show on Friday. So let's just listen to the message, and hopefully this works out.
Hi, Dave. It's Vicky. I know it's Mike's birthday on Sunday. I was wondering if you can pass on this message. Just want to say happy birthday, Mike. Wishing you all the best. I hope you get everything you want, and I'm still waiting for my invite to the pool party. Take care. Bye.
So I was going to play it at the beginning of the show, but I thought it might throw you off.
Where's that? No, not that. Oh, it was like, what is this doing? I had it all. I was just going to hit the end of this. This music is still going. Well, a little flushed right now, Dave, as you can understand. Wow.
Yep, Sunday.
Pool party.
That would be a closed event, just so you know.
I was going to suggest that.
Not everyone gets in. Do we have one more? Yes, I think we do. One more things that you will not see at the World Cup.
I will clear the entire sideline because I'm not picking one over the other, and I will send you all home, and they will enjoy the match without you.
The referee.
No more. Now you know why we don't have referees out here, okay? Because y'all get on us and get on the kids and get on each other. Hush your mouths, enjoy the game. Last warning.
Oh,
thank you.
That is. Come on. That is.
You mean you're not going to see a World Cup reference?
That would be awesome.
Clear the stadium.
Yeah. Well, we have not seen this before, but the official from Sweden has kicked out. Well, in Italy it happens.
Yeah, they've done it in Greece too, where two teams have played in an empty stadium because fans have been forbidden.
You know, so our good friend Anthony, the Lasagna King.
Yes.
He says, I said something about some team. He said, "Oh," he goes, "Yeah, I cheer for AS Roma." I said, "Roma? You mean the guys with the flares and the hooligans who make sure that they have to play in the Olympic Stadium bare?" He goes, "No, that's Lazio." No, it's not. Anthony, no, it's not.
Just become best friends. Yep. You want to go do karate in the garage? Yep.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's time.
I'd like to thank our guest, Vicky, today, who stole the show. But honestly, that's all I can think about. I can barely contain it. I'm going to the LCBO. That is the liquor store here in Ontario. And I am loading up on stuff, including those caramel apple martinis that we had that one time.
Yeah, those were good.
Yeah, those were very good. Happy birthday to me. Enjoy your long weekend. I know we will enjoy World Cup.
And bye to Russell, too.
Oh, and Russell's heading for Sweden.
Yeah.
This is his last day?
It is.
And congratulations to Devin, who got through the show. I'd say did a pretty...
Yeah, it's a strong 6.5 out of 10.
Pretty mediocre job.
6.
Yeah. Parents, once again, disappointed. Ryerson has done nothing.